Hello, welcome to this 10-minute training session for owners of small businesses and those thinking of starting up. I'm Glenda Shawley from the Training Pack, and in this session I'm going to talk about how you make your marketing work, and specifically how you make your business stand out from the crowd. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to be really clear about who your target market is. Nobody can sell to everybody, and we make a mistake when we try. So what we really need to do is to identify just who is going to be interested in buying from us. So how do you decide who your target customers are? Well, for the existing business, it's probably a bit easier than for a brand new startup. Start by looking at your existing sales. You'll probably find, if you're a typical business, that 80% of your sales are coming from 20% of your customers, and 80% of your profit is coming from 20% of those sales. So you can probably tell where I'm going with this. We're talking about the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. And what you're really trying to do is to understand those 20% of customers who are the start of your best sales and your greatest profit. What are their common characteristics? Do they come from a particular area? Do they do a particular kind of job? Is it a particular kind of company if you're in a business-to-business market? What are those common features? Look for as many as you can find, because what you're trying to do with your new customers or your new prospects is to replicate the characteristics of the 20% of the customers who give you the most profit. And if you're a new business, that it's not going to be quite so scientific, but what you're going to have to try and do is to work out who is the most likely prospect, what kind of person is most likely to want to buy from you, and be really specific and test out a couple of markets, but don't try and sell to everybody, because it's just like a scattergun and nobody will recognise themselves as your potential customer. And having determined your target, you need to think about what you're selling, and what you're selling may not be exactly what your customer is buying. So for instance, if we take flowers, you think you're selling flowers, but what the customer might be buying is forgiveness, saying sorry for a misdemeanor. It might be saying happy birthday, happy anniversary. It might be offering commiserations. It might just be decorating our homes and making them look good. Or somebody might be on the church flower rota, who knows? But what you really want to try and find out is what people's motivation is for buying those flowers. And it's the same with photographs or pictures, for instance. In this instance, we might be talking about buying a holiday memory, or we might be thinking about filling a space on a wall, or pulling together aspects of our decor. And even children's clothes. There's different motivation. It might just be because the child is having a reward for doing something well, or it may be that every item in the wardrobe has been outgrown and our children are looking like little urchins and like nobody loves them, and so we want to show that they are. Or on the other hand, we might want them to look good at a family party and look cared for. So just what are you selling? Even food. We're not just buying a bag of potatoes, we're buying a full tummy. We're buying that completed meal. We may be, in buying the food, buying a social evening amongst friends. It's not just about the straightforward. So just what are you selling? What you're really trying to do is to identify the problem and the motivation that your customer has. So if you can tap into their minds, then it's going to be so much easier for you to market your business to that prospect in a way that will resonate with them. You want a happy customer because you've solved their problem. So you want your marketing to hit the spot. So identify the problems that your target customer has. Think about what's keeping them awake at night, or the kind of thing that they're thinking about all day. Think about their aspirations. What do they want to achieve? What will make them feel they've got there? What's going to make them feel really good? What turns them on? What makes them passionate? What puts the smile on their face? And what are their values? Because if you can tap into their values as well, the chances are that you're going to be able to convert the sale. And what you really need to do with your marketing is answer this question for your customer. They're thinking, what's in it for me? That's the way they're making the decision between one option and another. So you need to be selling the benefits of your product or service, but targeted to the individual customer and back to that target that you identified earlier. And your customer's also thinking, why should I choose you? Why are you better than your competitors? What makes you different? People often talk about the USP, but the USP is a term specifically about one advertising offer. And so I would rather think in terms of your star ingredient. Your star ingredient is the thing that makes you different or that differentiates you from the majority of your competitors. So think about what you do in a different way to your competitors. Think about what makes you special. How do you stand out? Let's take a couple of examples. So when Marks and Spencer set up, they had a slogan, "Don't ask the price, it's a penny." It really did differentiate them from everybody else in the market and very quickly helped them to establish their reputation on which the store of today is founded. And look at John Lewis, who've always had the slogan, at least in the stores, have never knowingly undersold. It's something that they became famous for. It was something that they did differently to their competitors and something that customers could clearly understand. Domino's Pizzas, their first ever slogan was fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. It's been changed a little bit now because they've had to adapt for safety reasons, but people still know that Domino's will deliver very quickly and that what they'll deliver will be hot and fresh. So how do you find your star ingredient? Think about your personal experience, your own skills and qualifications, because clearly if your business is very much about you, that's a star ingredient that's automatic. Nobody has your combination of skills, qualifications and experience and specialities. Nobody has your particular personality, so you make your business different. But you might also look at your trading hours. Perhaps you're trading longer hours or more convenient hours to your competitors. Perhaps you're offering a delivery service which is better and more accessible to your customers than any of your competitors are doing. Maybe you have some additional services that your competitors are not offering. It may be a gift wrap service, for instance, or it may be a follow-up service of some description. Think about what you can do that would make you particularly special. It may be your way of doing business. So, for instance, if all of your competitors are online, maybe going offline is the right thing to differentiate you and set you apart from the crowd. Maybe your business should be mobile or offered over the telephone or some way that is more accessible to your target market and more convenient. Maybe you have different standards to your competitors. Maybe you're driven for achievement. Maybe you are pushing people to a higher limit or pushing yourself to be better qualified or delivering a higher standard of service. Or maybe the difference is in your ethics and maybe the sustainable way in which you do business. So have a real think about what makes you different and what you could add to add to your star ingredient. So here's a business that's really made the most of their star ingredient. Some years ago, Eddie Stobart Jr. took over the running of the company from his father. And at that time, it was a relatively small company based up in the northeast. Eddie Stobart Jr. recognised that if he differentiated his business from the majority of trucking companies, he would win more contracts. And so he made sure that his trucks left the depot sparkling clean, which most trucks didn't, and that his drivers were in a smart uniform. He made sure that the drivers understood that they didn't break the speed limit, that road safety was paramount. And the company has reinforced that message with children's books and toys and video games that promote the road safety message. As a result, Eddie Stobart is now the biggest trucking company in the UK. Can you take a leaf out of their book and grow your company? Why not download my Marketing Your Small Business mini action guide and take the next step to growing your business? Thank you for listening.